All right, it is 6:30. Welcome back. We're back into the swing of things. Got 31 people attending. This is great. I'm recording, so this will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel later on today. I'll send an email out to that link. If you have any computer issues during this, we'll be able to rewatch it. I will also upload it onto our Teams channel, which we're going to talk about today shortly. I'm going to mute everybody so there isn't any background interference. So everybody's going to be muted. So please, if you have any questions on the go-to training, there's a raise your hand. You can raise your hand if you have a question, or utilize the chat button. It's down below. You can just type a message here. Before I swing it over to Ken, I will check to make sure there isn't anybody that has any questions. But I'm going to keep everybody muted for my duration of my presentation. So welcome back. This week's code of conduct is to be prompt, start on time, work appointments and projects. So mission 1 accomplished is kicking off our regular Friday safety meetings. I can't wait to get back into kind of our normal routine, but this wasn't too bad, just getting up and walking downstairs and doing a little training. So this is kind of exciting. So what we're going to talk about today is our digital JHA. So our digital JHA is going to be located on Microsoft Teams. If you don't have a Teams account right now, don't worry. All foremen and supers do so far. I think majority of the people on this training has Microsoft Teams. So this is what Microsoft Teams looks like. This is the desktop version, and I'm going to just kind of show my Android tablet here that we company-wide issue tablet, Microsoft Team image like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our team page, which is below chat, and then on the tablet, it's on the bottom bar here, and you hit Teams, like so. So this is every job site, foreman, superintendent that we have will have this Microsoft Teams channel called Foremans and Superintendents. And the idea is you hit it, you click it, and then the general will pop down. You'll see the word general, you hit that. Once you hit that, then you get into the page that you see here, and on the desktop, what you're looking at now is Post Files Wiki Job Site Hazard Analysis. And then on the tablet, it has Post Files and More. So on the tablet, you want to hit More, and then you'll see the daily JHA posted on the tablet. I want to just backtrack real quick and show everybody the files that we have posted so far. So we're going to keep adding to this as we go. So in our files folder in Microsoft Teams, in our foreman and supervisors channel, we have the JHA documents located there. We have our AGC approved work plan that we adopted to maintain our operations of teams of 2 with non-essential function projects. And we got our ECI phase 1 restart. That might be some new modifications coming up today, so be in touch. Our face covering policy, and then also the PowerPoint presentation that I've been giving to the workforce when they're returning back is located there. So some really good resource available in this section of Microsoft Teams for everybody. So how to fill out the digital JHA. So on your desktop version, it's in the tab bar. On your other version, you would hit More on the pads, and then you would go More, and then click the daily JHA here, and then it pulls up a Word doc. And then it's really easy on the tablet. You would just put your finger over the link and click it, and it pulls it up. And it's the same thing with a desktop. You just have to hit Control. Once you hit Control, then the finger points up, and then you click it. And it opens up the document in your Google Chrome. So here's our daily JHA. It's digital. And again, our JHA for us is really the thought process to go through a really good risk analysis on our job sites. So this is going to be a good, important tool, especially when we're talking about COVID-19 and our kind of new way of maintaining operations, but also doing our part to prevent the spread of this really deadly virus. So pretty straightforward. Kind of similar to what we've had in the paper version. This is going to be a really good working tool to kind of get yourself prepared for the day, yourself and all your fellow coworkers that you have working with you. So the date is just a drop-down menu. So today's the 24th. I'm going to pick a project that I know a little bit about. I'm going to say we're working on the pigeon farm, doing that sidewalk install. I'm going to put myself as employee in charge. So you just click the box and you start typing. And today I'm going to say it's myself and Ken Pigeon. We're working together up at Alan's house. Should be a fun, exciting day. So today we're going to prep to subgrade and pour concrete sidewalk. So that's kind of what we're doing today. Deliveries, yep, we're going to have a concrete mixer showing up on site. And then once you have this does save. So if you need to go back and forth, you can, and then you just hit the next button. So then again, we want to really make sure, and again, this is a little posted here, is the first step of the JHA is hazard recognition. The next step is to identify the most effective ways to control the hazard using engineer controls, administrative controls, and again, our last line of defense is personal protective equipment. So we really want to make sure that we're focusing on the most effective controls that we're going to have. So do we have potential energy today for what we're doing? I'm going to say not today. Are we working above 6 feet? Not today. Do we have slip, trips, and falls? Yep. We're going to have a string line. So watch out for string. Sorry about my spelling. String line. And pick up tools after use. Working in operating moving equipment. Yeah, we got a little mini on site. So let's just stay out of blind spots. We have cave-ins. We only have an 18-inch cut, so no really issues there. Underground utilities. We do have some underground utilities. We're going to have refresh paint markings and maintain 18 inches tolerance zone. Before we can mechanically dig, we need to make sure we follow those 18 inches. We don't have any overhead or power lines. We're not going to do any rigging and hoisting today. We have a little bit of personal lifting. So let's use the 27 excavator for anything heavy so we can save our backs. Power tools, not today. We're not going to do any welding and grinding. We don't have any dust vapors. Biological chemicals. We will be putting a sealant down, so we just want to make sure we get the SDS on site. And our containers are labeled. Hot work, open flame, not today. Today's weather is looking pretty nice, but we're not in any heat stress related, so not today. Traffic, We're at a resident, so no traffic issues. We're not on the railroad. We're not working over water. And then we got our COVID-19 site plan. So Ken and I are working as a team of two. We're going to wear our facial coverings, but I'm going to take care of that down here at the bottom of the PPE. But we're going to try to maintain our 6 feet as best as possible. Then we're also going to disinfect. Disinfect. It does have spell check, which is nice for someone like myself. Disinfect our tools and equipment before use and before we share. We're going to try not to share, but we might have to share a shovel at some point in time. So we're going to make sure that we're doing that. And then our last line of defense is we've kind of identified some of our hazards. We're going to have a hard hat, safety glasses, we're going to high-vis clothing. We're going to wear some gloves. We're going to have our steel-toe boots. And then we're going to have our facial coverings just in case if we have to work within that 6 feet. So this right here is kind of the meat and potatoes of our JHA, of our plan for the day. And these are our PPE requirements. So then moving over, we want to make sure that we are good to go regarding any excavation work. So there's a dig safe ticket expiration date, which I don't have that information available, but you just pulled that in. We want to make sure that we know where we're going for emergencies. So 911 is our call number. Our address is 64 Langdon Road, South Hero. And then we always should have a fire extinguisher readily available, a first aid kit, eye wash station. All that's going to be located in the pickup truck, the SDS as well. And then the COVID-19 plan is in Teams. So everyone can refer back to any of those documents as needed. And then Champlain Medical Urgent Care is our preferred walk-in clinic just for any injuries above, beyond first aid. So then you hit the next arrow. And then the safety focus of the week is our digital JHA. And then our code item of the week, it's a nice little drop down for everybody. And we're going to try to be prompt, start on time this week as much as we can. And then we just do a little digital signature, just your initials. You save it, you hit submit. And then bang. So after you submit it, I get a copy. This is an open hosted app right now. The idea is as soon as the tablets become Teams hosted, it will all kind of look like the desktop version and you'll get a copy as soon as you receive it. So the technology isn't quite there yet, but it is coming. So that's a good example of where to find it on Microsoft Teams, how to fill one out. And remember, when we're filling one out, to always incorporate COVID-19. And biggest thing is, this is a good tool for the foreman and super to do it and plan ahead, but then we also have to communicate it to your fellow coworkers. And right now it's just teams of two. So it should be pretty straightforward conversation that we can have using our facial coverings in between two people. And as it starts ramping up, again, we can kind of get back into our smaller groups once we get the okay to be in maybe teams of 3 to 5. But again, it's very important that we maintain that facial covering to protect the spread of germs. And the facial covering, again, is just a barrier to keep your germs to yourself and not to spread it to your fellow coworkers. So with that said, I don't see anyone posted anything on the chat. I don't see any hands raised. So I'm going to go ahead and make Ken the presenter, and he will kick it off into our next part of the training. Make presenter. And Ken, I'm going to unmute you. So you
Okay,
should have,
you hear me now?
control.
And I'll show my screen, right?
Yep.
So
There it
let
is.
me respond to your JHA on the crew that I'm part of. I'll tell you about. You made me recall back in long time ago, probably in the early 80s. It was one summer we were working at IBM doing a concrete duct bank, and we were placing concrete. And we were down raking. I was down raking with others probably. I don't remember raking the concrete along the duct bank, and someone tried dropping the next chute down on the concrete mixer, and I was down underneath there. And fortunately, someone was watching what was going on and saw it and stopped it before it hit me. So it's one of those things you just gotta. There's always those hazards out there, and even things that we do every day, you got to be really cautious about.
Yep.
And it's one of those things that always, I think, occasionally think back on that could have changed my life forever by being struck by a concrete discharge chute. So let's see if I can figure out how to get back to the screen we had earlier, Matt. There we go. Okay. So just a quick message from Scotty and I, just welcome back. I know not everybody's back, but we're up and running soon. We'll be soon. We got multiple two-man crews we started this week and more to ramp up. Hopefully we'll hear from the governor today in his press conference to see if that's been expanded. Hopefully it will at some point. We're expecting that restriction and others maybe to loosen up. The state has done a very good job overall of containing the COVID-19 cases to really just in the last 10 days, or the average is in the single digits compared to it was a high, I think, of 70 in one day here a few weeks ago. There's a link I have to Vermont Health here, which gives more information. And also, we just wanted to make sure everyone knows we hope all is well with everybody, your friends and your family. And then I also want to state that it's very important to stick with all these, to follow these guidelines, carefully with the right intent and everything, because, we'll be held accountable and people are watching out there to see how we and other contractors are doing as far as following these protocols. So for announcements, we have time to be submitted. 8 a.m. is helpful for the accounting to speed things up. Obviously, they're working remotely and partly in, partly out. Challenging just like every other aspect of our work. Paychecks are sent out by regular mail, both live and deposit stubs. And don't come by the office if you have some sort of business to do. Just call ahead and then coordinate the transaction. If it's necessary in person, it would be necessary and it could be coordinated then. But if not, there are other ways of transactions that we've set up. And also we have a new hire, Tim Vashro, Assistant Project Manager. Whoops, I lost my screen. I tapped, there we go. And since we're not live, I asked Tim to give us a picture of himself, and I see that he's also he was formerly, as many of you might have known him, construction manager with Vermont Gas. He'd been there since 1998, and he's a graduate of Vermont Tech. So welcome to Tim. I see he was on the line, and hopefully you'll get a chance to say hi to Tim and introduce yourself. I've got a bunch of links here for some of the COVID-19 policies and information that we have, the restart plan, the general COVID precautions that we have been working and expanding and modifying as we go, and also the face covering policy. And then for this week, we're profiling the Pigeon Farms sidewalk project, and this was really a good little project to start off this phase one, because it kind of fits all the things we want in a phase one. It's in a rural setting, can be performed with just a couple workers, well suited for social distancing guidelines. And Matt, you are out here. Matt, are you still live with or are you muted yourself?
I can unmute myself, Ken. I'm here.
So you took this picture. Tell me, are they laying out sidewalk or are they laying out stakes to keep their 6 foot of separation?
A little bit of both. Yeah.
A little
No,
both. Oh, okay. Yeah.
no, that's their sidewalk. Yeah, laying out sidewalk. Yeah.
Looks like just 6 feet though, so at their stakes. So they're doing a little both. All right, good.
But they are wearing their facial coverings if they're
They
within
are. Yep.
6.
And they want to be precise and stay exactly 6 feet apart, at least. So the idea is to have a sidewalk that goes around the front of the house, and they subgraded out here. There's also a big tree that had to get taken down. They rented a stump grinder to grind it down, because pulling it out would have been obviously pretty challenging with that small excavator, but also there's a sewer line that goes out to the distribution box there, the septic line. So it was somewhat close to the tree and probably tangled up in the roots by now. So it's best to leave it undisturbed. And then it looks like we're doing some disinfection here, which is good. Wearing our mask, all our PPE, so it looks great in there. And will mean we have cleaner equipment too, right? So that's what we have for the pigeon farm. And then this is not from the archives, but for the future archives, this is a picture Sherry and I do our 7 p.m. daily tribute to the healthcare and essential workers with our homemade bass drum. You see, it's a plastic 55-gallon drum on its top, and we just beat on it and hopefully have somewhat of a rhythm going. And we do that every night at 7 p.m. to annoy the neighbors as much as anything, but also to tribute all the healthcare and essential workers who are out there on kind of the front lines of all this. And certainly we have people we could say we have some essential people on the front lines, but not in the messy situations like some of the healthcare workers. So especially to them, yeah, someone says, love the drum. Yeah, in the drumsticks, Sherry has a couple of rolling pins, and I have a couple of pieces of maple, branches of maple. We don't sound half bad, but that's what I got. And let's see, hopefully everyone's out there and working in the coming days, and we got some, ramping up some good production. So I'll I'll turn it back over to Matt, and we'll all sign off. Okay, Matt?
Sounds good, Ken. Thank you. So as
Okay.
we navigate through our new normal, again, health and safety is available 24/7. Any questions regarding how to access the digital JHA, please provide feedback. This is a live document. We can make modifications, changing as we go. So try it today, fill one out, and let me know how it goes. And if there's any other questions or concerns, just reach out to us. So have a safe day, everybody. Be in touch soon.
Hey, bye, everybody.